On January 16, 2011, the New York Jets defeated the New England Patriots to advance to their second consecutive AFC Championship game, becoming the first team in NFL history to win back-to-back road playoff games in back-to-back seasons. This Cinderella story all started 2 years prior, on January 19, 2009, when the Jets hired first-time head coach Rex Ryan. 3 months later, Rex got his signal caller when the Jets traded up in the 2009 draft and selected USC's Mark Sanchez with the 5th overall pick. With the Jets 7-7 in his first season, Rex proclaimed they were eliminated from playoff contention. 2 weeks later, I imagine much to Rex's surprise, the Jets clinched a wildcard spot with a win over the Bengals, a Bengals team they then defeated again in the wildcard to advance to the divisional round. Early in the fourth quarter against the Chargers, Mark Sanchez hit tight end Dustin Keller to take the lead.
End zone! Caught! Touchdown!
The Jets sealed their win with a 53-yard touchdown run by Sean Green, the backup running back behind aging workhorse Thomas Jones.
There goes Sean Green! Touchdown!
Then, despite an early lead in the AFC Championship game, thanks to an 80-yard touchdown pass to Braylon Edwards, New York fell to the Colts. But they'd be back. In the offseason, the Jets were the subject of HBO's Hard Knocks, where the world was truly introduced to the charismatic, bombastic Rex Ryan. He even took the time to write soon-to-be champs on the training camp bus, a prediction he stuck to for the season. Adding fuel to the hype fire, the Jets signed Hall of Fame running back LaDainian Tomlinson, replacing Thomas Jones, who signed with the Chiefs in free agency. Their ground-and-pound offense, paired with one of the best defenses in the league, led by the best corner in the league, Darrelle Revis, propelled the Jets to an 11-5 record in 2010. A game-winning field goal by Nick Folk as time expired in the wild card sent the Jets to Foxborough to face the Patriots in the divisional round. A touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone to Santonio Holmes and a 16-yard touchdown run by Sean Green helped the Jets secure a 28-21 win and a date with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game. This team surprised everyone the last couple years, and they were hell-bent on making their first Super Bowl appearance since 1969. They didn't. The AFC Championship was immediately terrible for New York. Rex Ryan deferred after winning the coin toss and handed the ball to Ben Roethlisberger, who led Pittsburgh down the field on a 9-minute drive that ended with a 7-0 lead for the Steelers. This Mark Sanchez sack fumble gave Pittsburgh a 24-0 lead in the waning minutes of the first half, all but drowning the hopes and dreams of a fan base married to the physical embodiment of disappointment. The Jets did their best to make it a game. They scored 19 unanswered points and held the Steelers scoreless in the second half, but the hole was too big to climb out of. Rex Ryan's crew was headed home without a ticket to the big game. In the offseason, Braylon Edwards, the team leader in receiving yards and touchdowns, left in free agency. To shore up their passing attack, New York signed Plaxico Burress, who was making his NFL comeback following a self-shooting incident at a nightclub in 2008. Burress proved to be a very solid addition to the team and contributed immediately, scoring in the team's first game of the season en route to a win over the Cowboys. But even though most starters returned in 2011, this was not the same team. With LaDainian Tomlinson in the twilight of his career, Sean Green was handed starting running back duties. He played well, but in no way did he make up for Tomlinson's now limited usage. With a two-headed running back attack, now a 1.5-headed ground game, the Jets had to place more on the shoulders of their third-year quarterback. They shouldn't have. Sitting at 8-5 with control over their own playoff destiny, the Jets entered a Week 15 matchup against the Eagles. The first touchdown of the game came off a Santonio Holmes fumble, returned 47 yards, and it really set the tone. Sanchez, taking Holmes' lead, threw 2 picks and lost a fumble on the way to a demoralizing 45-19 loss in a game that really mattered. The following week, Sanchez had a bit of deja vu, and once again threw 2 interceptions and lost a fumble, this time against a Giants team also playing for their playoff hopes. Entering Week 17, the Jets needed a lot of things to happen in order to make it back to the playoffs, but perhaps the most difficult of them all was winning a football game. Frustrations hit a boiling point, and in the final minutes of the game, team leader and top wideout Santonio Holmes mentally quit on the team. He began arguing with teammates in the huddle before ultimately being pulled by an assistant coach. Rex claimed that Santonio took himself out of the game, but that's only because he was unaware of what was actually going on. The Jets finished the season 8-8 and missed the playoffs. Then they did the only reasonable thing they could. They traded for Tim Tebow. The Jets were already a bit of a circus, but when they brought the QB in as competition for Sanchez, they turned their little circus into the Cirque du Soleil of the football media world. But instead of awe-inspiring acrobatics, they just played football poorly. The season was engulfed in quarterback controversy talk, and the looming threat of Tebow shattered Sanchez's confidence as fans chanted for Tebow anytime Sanchez made a mistake, which was often. To make matters worse, Revis, the crown jewel of the defense, entered the 2012 season openly unhappy with his contract. This led to a lot of uneasy feelings amongst fans who worshipped the island he put his opponents on. Then, in week 3, he tore his ACL. He was traded to Tampa Bay in the offseason. But really, the 2012 Jets season can be summed up in one play. In week 12, on Thanksgiving in prime time, the Jets faced off against the rival Patriots. With 9 minutes remaining in the first half, down 14-0, Mark Sanchez set a new low for the entire franchise.
I have never seen this before in my life.
The butt fumble, as it would come to be known, replaced back-to-back AFC Championship appearances as the defining moment of the Rex Ryan, Mark Sanchez era of Jets football. It was so bad that Fireman Ed, the Jets' self-proclaimed mascot, retired in the middle of the game. After this video, you can watch me deep dive the butt fumble on an episode of Rewinder. But first, let's see if the Jets turn things around. Spoiler, they don't. The following week, Sanchez threw 3 interceptions, which finally prompted Rex to make a change. With Tebow inactive with broken ribs, the Jets trotted out Greg McElroy to finish the game. And in his first career game, McElroy threw a game-winning touchdown, inching by the Cardinals 7-6. Sanchez was back under center the next week, and with a win over the Jags, there was still a glimmer of playoff hope wrapping its arms around the slowly rotting corpse of Gang Green. The following week, the Jets had the ball deep in Titans territory in the fourth quarter, down only 4. Prime timing for Sanchez's 4th interception. They'd get another shot, only to watch him fumble away the ball and the season.
That's the way this game should end. That's the way the Jets season should end. Ugly.
The Jets slanked their way into the offseason with a 6-10 record, prompting some change. On December 31st, 2012, they fired GM Mike Tannenbaum. He was replaced by former Seahawks executive John Idzik. Tight end Dustin Keller, Mark Sanchez's safety blanket, signed with the Dolphins as a free agent, and starting running back Sean Green inked a 3-year deal with the Titans. But Rex Ryan, New York wasn't quite done with him yet. Idzik and Ryan pulled the trigger on West Virginia quarterback Geno Smith in the second round of the 2013 draft, and felt confident this time the quarterback competition would be beneficial, but they never really got a chance to see how it played out. Rex made the mind-numbing decision to send Sanchez out in the fourth quarter of a meaningless Week 3 preseason game behind a practice squad offensive line. On his second drive, Sanchez took a hit that resulted in a season-ending injury to his throwing shoulder. The 2013 season now laid squarely on the shoulders of rookie QB Geno Smith. And it worked out. Until it didn't. Running back Chris Ivory, signed in the offseason, breathed life back into the Jets' ground game alongside 2011 draft pick and emerging talent Bilal Powell. With a rejuvenated running game and a solid defense, the Jets showed flashes of promise. Following a win over the Saints, the Jets entered their bye week with a 5-4 record. Fans once again felt the gentle embrace of hope, but the smartest among them knew what would come next. They lost their next 3 games as Geno Smith threw 6 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. The last of this 3-game stretch was a Week 13 matchup against the Dolphins in which Smith was benched for Matt Sims. Smith exited the game with a passer rating of 8.3. That's bad, but it could be worse. Smith had trouble putting 2 consecutive good games together, and his up-and-down performance led to an up-and-down season for the Jets. They were eliminated from playoff contention following a Week 15 loss to the Panthers and once again finished the season 8-8. Santonio Holmes, who missed most of the 2012 season with a Lisfranc fracture, returned in 2013 with lackluster results. He was released in March of 2014. March also brought an end to an era. 3 years after quarterbacking the Jets to their second consecutive AFC Championship game, the man once dubbed Sanchez for his franchise quarterback potential was released. To replace the now vacant QB roster spot, the Jets signed veteran Michael Vick. He would back up Geno Smith. As for Rex Ryan, despite another season of turmoil and disappointment, he was given yet another chance as it was announced that he would return for the 2014 season. GM John Idzik was holding on to 12 draft picks in the 2014 draft and planned to plug the team's holes and set Ryan up for success. Those draft picks would go on to be known as the Idzik 12, as in holy shit Idzik, how do you fuck up 12 times? To be fair, it was more like 11 times, as 6th-round wideout Quincy Enunwa would go on to be a serviceable receiver for the Jets. But he was the only player from that draft to still be on the team by 2019, and 8 of those 12 were out of the NFL entirely by 2018. Many people expected the Jets to use the truckload of picks to trade up in the draft, and Rex Ryan even lobbied Idzik to trade up to select an LSU receiver by the name of Odell Beckham Jr. But no, one by one, John Idzik threw the picks into a pit of despair while the fan base gathered around and screamed into the abyss. There was hope surrounding first-round pick Calvin Pryor, but he failed to live up to the hype. Third-round pick Dexter McDougal never really got his chance to prove himself after tearing his ACL in the preseason, but the most egregious of those picks came in the 4th round, where they selected 2 wide receivers. The first was Jalen Saunders, who made 1 reception in his NFL career as a member of the Saints. Their second pick of the round was Shaq Evans, who never played a regular season NFL game. My personal favorite, however, was 6th-round pick IK Enemkpali. He was released in 2015 after breaking Geno Smith's jaw over a $600 debt. Anyway, after a Week 1 win over the Raiders to start the 2014 season, Geno Smith finally found some consistency, losing 6 straight heading into a Week 8 matchup against the Bills. It was here that Geno threw 2 completions to his teammates and 3 completions to the opposing team. In the first quarter, he was benched with a passer rating of 0. I have a passer rating of 0. Right now. Mike Vick finished the game and pushed the losing streak to 7 before then starting the following week and extending the streak to 8. They finally notched a win in Week 10 and entered their bye week with a 2-8 record. After their bye week, Vick lasted 3 quarters before Rex decided to give Smith another shot. They lost some more games, and then in Week 17, Geno Smith posted a perfect passer rating in a win over the Dolphins, because why the hell not? The Jets finished with a 4-12 record, the worst under Rex Ryan, who was finally fired despite the team collectively lobbying in his favor. The joy and excitement of those AFC Championship games felt as far away as Namath's Super Bowl win in 1969. The Jets had become the laughingstock of the NFL, partially unwarranted. When they were good, they were everything you want from a football team. A loud, charismatic, no-bullshit head coach and an underdog team writing a Cinderella story with smash-mouth defense and a young gun quarterback. But in the end, it was all a joke. A fan base starved for success was shown a bright light, and as they stared longingly at its beauty with open arms, they forgot for a moment that they were standing in the middle of the New Jersey Turnpike. And that sound wasn't cheering. It was a blaring horn shouting warnings at the delusional people standing in the middle of the road. Thanks for watching this episode of Collapse. There's plenty more where these came from, so please go check them out. And for more butt fumble content, check out this episode of Rewinder. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because those are the only things that bring me joy in my empty life.